A very good evening, viewers. How have you been? It's Friday, and I believe we've entered weekend. Some of you people, you're heading prayers, others are going to work out, others are going to enjoy. And today, we are here, and I have a panel of great men who are going to be discussing what has been news since morning. And of course, we heard about it when the man himself, Honorable Mpuga, when he introduced it. A commissioner who's not recognized by his party, a chairman. So had some amendments that he has proposed. And we're going to look into them and dig deep into them so that you can also understand them. I'm Tohe Ronald. The program is called Truth Be Told, and I want directly to go to my guests. My guest here on my right, who are you?
I didn't know that I have to introduce myself again. Anyway, my name is Wanyela Simon. I am a PFF activist. Because I saw the
Let's make it easy for people who are watching us. You are FDC Katonga.
Yes, I am. But we are soon going to.
You are not yet PPF.
No,
because
we are going to
register.
it is going to be registered.
Before I introduce my guest, my other guest, first of all, why did you go to the commission on Tuesday?
We went there because we had written to them, but they took long to respond. So we wanted to find out what exactly was happening. So on Monday, we were led by our president, His Worship, the Lord Mayor, Ejansi Lukwago. He led us, and we went there to interface with them, to ask them why are they taking long to respond, because all the queries that they had raised earlier, we responded in a letter. So we wanted them to also respond and tell us what was happening. But unfortunately, when we reached there, we were told that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Justice Simon Byabakama, was out of the country for government business. So the chairperson was there, but again, the chairperson declined to, the vice chairperson declined to come and meet us, and they sent one of the junior officers there, the deputy PRO, Mr. Paul Bukenya, is the one who came and attended to us. And he told us that they are going to respond earliest. He didn't give us the date, but he said earliest they will make a response. Yeah, so yeah, my name is Wanyela Simon. I've introduced myself.
There's a question that has been in my mind since I saw that story. I'm like, why didn't you see, even government didn't know how NOP registered. I felt like for your seniors, you know how this government operate, you could use such kind of tactic than going open. Don't you think? Do you think it's a government? Do you think government is doing this just to
frustrate us?
Frustrate you?
Let's wait and see, because everything that they talked about in their what they guided us on, we responded. And of course, their issue was on colors. They were saying that our color, you see how this is loyal blue, and they were saying that this color is the same as the one of FDC Najana Nkumbi, and the other one, you know, it's your loyal blue. So we told them there's a difference. There's so many blues, and you find that each political party in this country at least has a color that it shares with another political party. So we explained everything to them in our correspondence, and we believe they will understand. The other issue was PFF resembling PPF, People Power Front, and People's Front for Freedom. So we told them this is really different. This is a totally different thing. We even gave them examples of DP, SDP, having those DPs and all. Our president explained everything to them clearly. So,
Mr. Henry, yes. You're welcome again on Truth Be Told.
Yeah.
Your president today said he's not in agreement. He's not in agreement with your endorsement, and said no, it's not yet time. I have a lot of other things to handle. Let's start from there.
He's not our president, but he's our preferred leader. That is why we call him my leader. Depending on how you say things, I had him make a response. we from the bloc are desirous of having a leader who has quality, a leader who has experience, a leader who has served and upon which we can, for some time, and upon which we can find parameters of judging whether he can afford, he can deliver. And I think those parameters are there. We have seen enough. When we did not disagree, when we disagreed with Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye and supported Kyagulanyi, you realize that we had made a terrible mistake for the country. One is that the load for the country is too huge. You, even when you are excited, you cannot make mistake and get somebody who is not tested, and get somebody who is naive, and get somebody who is not emotionally very intelligent.
You really think that is too much on speaking about someone? Don't you think you're trying to...
Emotional intelligence is a normal thing. Everybody has levels.
To demean
No.
Kyagulanyi?
No, emotionally, and by the way, sometimes electability is based on emotional intelligence. How do you relate with others? Emotional intelligence is how do you relate with others. That is it. So we think that all those ones are very important. But unfortunately, Mr. Kyagulanyi had just come. We had not tested him, and it was a terrible mistake to move that direction.
You just wanted
now
to
now
jump
we are
on his,
trying
on his powers, on his
electricity.
electricity. You wanted, because you knew
Yes.
he had electricity. As people say, as Baganda say, yaina masanyalaze. You jumped on his electricity because you could not survive without it.
Yes, it was about fame. You know, famous people are easy to market. But that is also a lesson learned, that a revolution is not about fame. It is about strategy, it is about experience, it is about knowing what to do.
But I think when we talk about being experienced leaders, President Museveni takes the word.
For experience.
Yeah, experienced leaders.
Yes, and we don't contest his experience. We are contesting other things, not experience.
Okay, breakdown for someone who's watching us there.
Yes.
Those amendments that Honorable Mpuga really was putting up for Parliament, and people and Ugandans, all of them, to consider and maybe support him.
Yeah, and we want to thank Honorable Mpuga. You asked me a question that he turned down the request by the DP bloc. I think that is where we should begin. He made a statement that when I meet the members of the DP bloc, I will talk to them and advise them that whereas what they made, what they announced is important, it is more important to focus on reforms before we can undertake the other one. And I think we agree. He is a member of Parliament, and part of his responsibilities is exactly that. So for him, part of, just like a footballer, a player, we demand goals from a player. But for me as a supporter, I am supposed to cheer. So our roles are defined and they're different. So for me, mine is to tell him that you fall within my parameters of the leaders I want. And that is what we have said. So there is no contradiction. And we are in support of his initiative to take the lead, whereas he's not the leader of opposition. But the leader of opposition has
and I want to remember that the amendments he was reading when they were in Munyonyo, some of the opposition members came out and they were against them. They were like, they can't work as of now, as he was proposing them. You remember that meeting?
Yeah, I do.
And
I do. But
how he collided with his president.
No, I think we must have a beginning of rational arguments. One, it is necessary to have proposals and reforms. Whether they are sufficient enough to deliver change, that is another. But definitely, it is necessary to have reforms. Now, whether we agree on all of them, we are human beings. We can always disagree. but there are things at least that we know are very important. And he made a raft of proposals. We think that there are some that could have been on that list that did not make it. But again, even the gesture and gusto to push those reforms for us is good enough for leadership. That is what the leader of opposition and the opposition should be doing in parliament. Instead of basing on rumors. The other day they were on a rumor that, you know, government is going to do this, is going to do this. You present your reforms, and then the public debates. So
I know you're close to him.
Today, Honorable Matthias Mpuga presented both constitutional and electoral reforms. For the constitutional part, all of us agree that we want a restoration of term limits. That one he put on table, and I think that is general consensus. It was a mistake to remove term limits, and I think we needed term limits as soon as yesterday. 2, he proposed a proportional representation for women. Now, in Kenya and Tanzania, there is what is called nominated MPs, but they arrive there, or they arrived at through proportional representation. Sure. Proportional representation is just a formula of how you arrive at candidates. At nomination, they say, for example, even here we try it. For example, Iala has some form of proportional representation, because the party, like the NRM, which has more members of parliament, they say their quota maybe is about 8 or 7. There are 8 members of ERA members. So, for example, they say I think there are 6. So they allocate the other quotas to the others. That is a form of a proportional representation based on power. And here, his argument is that let's have, instead of having every district to bring a woman.
But
MP,
I think for you it's not constitutional.
No, I am trying to illustrate how proportional representation works. I don't want to go in the nitty-gritty of the ELA election, but I'm saying that proportional representation, just a quota, because, for example, we say that we need 70 women members of parliament. Now, how the other parties share, every party develops a list. And now if, for example, at next election, the DP bloc wins the majority, and we have, for example, we have 300 members of parliament, we just tabulate and we say that 70% times the number maybe 70, then we arrive at 50. Then at nomination, we submit a list of 70. So they cut off, you know. And I think that is a good initiative. It is a good proposal. For us as the wider opposition, we actually support the initiative of proportional representation.
So, Mr. Henry, because of time, we may not get time to explain all those clauses.
You want me to go through
one of those things like say we're looking at term limit, we are looking at age limit, we have explained for the proportionate representation.
Yes.
And then there is why I said he wants each district to be represented by 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you break down those.
The leader of opposition to be the second
runner.
Is it the second runner-up or the first runner-up? The runner-up into election. Those are constitutional, and to ensure that parliament is reduced, to reduce the numbers in parliament. He also proposes a very interesting proposal of a bicameral system, to have the upper, which is the Senate, and the lower. Kenya has it. It is to improve the quality of debate and a level of discussion. You can have a lower house of more members of parliament, and they discuss something and they pass it. Then it gets a roadblock at the upper house, which is Senate. And he proposes that Senate we can have 50. And I think that is
30.
interesting. He is proposing 30.
Yeah, he said 30, and they will be led by deputy president.
Yeah, no problem.
Who will not be appointed.
Well,
who will be
the principle is that we should have 2, but the upper one with a minimum number, and the upper one with a bigger one. But the argument is that the bigger one gets, I mean, the upper house gets time to discuss everything.
Okay.
Now on the electoral reforms, just in 2 minutes, he makes very good submissions, declaration of candidates at presidential. We have discussed this. You know, we have a problem of transmission of results. Every time, you know, at polling, somebody wins and everybody knows they jubilate. Now, this transmission of results, that is where the problem.
To the National Tally Center.
To the National Tally Center. Actually, sometimes even, we know what happens at the district. But now this transition, Nakasongola A, Nakasongola B, Nakasongola, before you know, you lose track. And have you seen, my brother, do you know that the votes for president have nearly been constant when you tally them? Every time for him, he increases by about 500, and the opposition increases by about 150. It is surprising.
My brother, coming from there, and tell me, what do you think as Katonga faction? Do you think these amendments will see Uganda move? And of course, you don't have to forget that we think that you people at Katonga, you're big-headed, eh? You are part of...
No, don't say that. Don't use such words. And
Mpuga has to say that he doesn't believe in such kind of politics. He believes Uganda can have change when these amendments are put in place. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ndugu Ronald. Yeah, for me personally, like we had the discussion earlier, I was unable to follow the press. The
presentation.
Yes, because I'd traveled to Chitalia to visit on our colleagues, the 36 who were arrested in Kisumu. Yeah, so I spent almost the whole day there. You know what happens when you visit prisoners. You know the bureaucracy and all that. So I was unable to really follow. But when I came back, I went through what the amendments were, and I think I have them here. Of course, he talks about restoring and entrenching the presidential term limit as his number one proposal. Second, he talks about presidential candidate to have a runmate who shall be the deputy president. The third one was to introduce a second tier of parliament with 39 MPs from the original 39 districts of Uganda. The deputy president shall be its head. Then the fourth one was to reduce the size of parliament to 292 MPs. Then the fifth was to allow ordinary voters to challenge in court the presidential elections. Then the other one was what? The sixth one was presidential election results for each district be declared at the district before they're transported to the National Tally Center. Then the last one was allowing prisoners and vote, and the Ugandans in diaspora to also participate in voting. You see, my brother Ronald, all of us have been here. At least me, in 2011, I was young, but I saw how things were because I was in high school. But at least I could see what was happening. In 2006, I was young still, but at least we read what happened then because I was young, but I didn't participate much. 2011, 2016, all of us saw what happened. No, I'm not so young, my brother. I'm old. Now, the question is, yes, these are good proposals that Honorable Mpuga has put in place. And yes, he said he's going to structure them in a writing, and he will give them to the public to also give their views. You see, with the nature of the regime that we have today, the dictatorship that we have today under Mr. Museveni, I don't think we need more laws again. I don't think this is the time for us to start debating on restoring term limits, fighting back for the age limit so that it's restored back in the Constitution. These things were there in the Constitution. Actually, I wanted to give a background. You see, the 1966 Constitution failed to deliver change peacefully, and our forefathers had to fight, and the 1995 Constitution was put in place, which they thought that this one would deliver change peacefully, so that we could have a leader hand over power peacefully to another leader. Now, this one, you have seen what has been turned into. Museveni, of course, you saw how he attacked parliament, MPs were beaten, people were arrested, everyone was, So, for me right now, I don't think it's the right time for us to start talking about bringing this back. What I want is, I wanted us to first focus on how can we take away this man. How would we chase away Museveni so that these laws come when we have a leader who respects laws? This regime doesn't respect laws. Museveni and his people, they don't respect laws. Let me tell you, it's Museveni himself who removed the term limits. It's Museveni himself who attacked parliament and beat up MPs and the age limit was removed. Do you think he's the one going to allow us to put the things back in the constitution? Yet he's preparing his son Muhoozi to come and take over. I don't think it's going to be viable. So for me, on this proposal number one, I don't think it is viable right now because of the previous history that I've told you about. Now, on the presidential candidate, to have a runmate who shall be the deputy president. You see, our system is clear. The constitution is clear here. We have the functions of the president well stipulated in this constitution of ours here, and the functions of the deputy president, of the vice president. Our system is clear. But then, what does what does this change now of having a deputy president who also campaigns like the president, like it's done in Kenya? You see.
So what happens if a president wins and his deputy doesn't win? You go with the opponent's deputy?
No, I don't think that's also good. Yes, it's another challenge which I will address later. But I want to show you this. You see, a deputy president like he's proposing, like Honorable Mpuga is proposing. Now we have Honorable Honorable Lupo, who is the vice president, whose roles are well stipulated here. Now the problem we have is that it goes back to what I told you earlier. Here in Uganda, laws are not respected. This is the man who cannot even trust his vice president to take charge of the country when he has gone out. He will leave it in the hands of either his brother, Salem Saleh, or some generals around, and this lady will be left to go to attend burials and what? But if our laws were respected, Alupa would be able to perform the duties of a president, because the constitution is clear. It says when the president gets a problem, or when the president falls sick, or when the president dies, the vice president takes over. For some time, she rules, or he rules until when elections are organized. You get? So I don't think putting this kind of method that Honorable Mpuga is bringing, for me, I don't think it will change much. That's my opinion. So when I see my brother Luoa really, he's into, he sees the power is changing, yet the person who disorganizes the same thing is still there. I don't think it will make any sense. It doesn't change much. Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you this. We all know that NRM has numbers. Yes, and most of these amendments don't even favor it. Yes. And there are the people who really remove them from constitution. And you think you will use the same people to install the same articles that were deleted from the constitution?
And I want to tell you that failing to plan is planning to fail. I want to tell my brother that even Dr. Kizabesige found me here in opposition. If we had not done anything, they wouldn't have joined us. You must do something to attract numbers from the NRM. At one time, we had a one-party system where everybody was. And we were beaten when we were trying to fight for multipartism. I want to tell you something, that there are questions, and I put it straight, that are reforms necessary? Yes, they are necessary. Are they sufficient? That is debatable. So I don't want to be dragged into the debate of sufficiency, because I don't determine sufficiency. I do what is necessary. Now, Honorable Mpuga is a member of parliament. we expect members of parliament to lead the debate. The debate is about reforms. You can't pretend that you're going to have elections and you don't make any proposals as if nothing happened. People's children were beaten, elections are rigged, and you can't sit there and pretend that nothing has happened. The parliament is there to make laws. So that is their cardinal role, to make laws. So there are no jargons. Members of parliament are supposed to make laws. Now, regarding the arguments that my brother is saying, that, you know, we must first remove Museveni, what is your plan? And I want to tell the public, and I am one of the persons who really is very confident on this, because I am not just a passive player. I am one of the real leaders of this opposition in this country. And I want to tell you, where we are. If we compare what happens, the regime in Uganda can only be compared to what happened in South Africa. In South Africa, when ANC took, it had power, but it wasn't the numbers that forced the apartheid regime out. No, apartheid regime was forced out, yes, by actions of the people, but basically it was a negotiated exit. Now, regimes that are armed to teeth like what the NRM is, if you pretend that you are going to hit it and you use the same force that they have, you want to create a stalemate like what is happening in Israel. The approach of the Hamas fighting a regime that is armed to teeth is leading nowhere, because for them they want to continue fighting, hitting people and killing. That is what they know best. But in Nelson Mandela in South Africa, he said that, okay, these guys have guns, they have nuclear, they have what? They don't want us, they don't love us, but we must negotiate with them because we have the numbers. Even them, their survival depends on us. They have the factories where the persons who are going to buy what they produce. What we need to do is to assure them that they are safe. We are going to live in this country side by side. Our children are going to marry each other. We don't have another country. And that is what exactly we are telling the NRM. And my brothers in the opposition, I want to tell you that reforms are not an end in itself. But they are a beginning of a discussion. The discussion that might even lead to a negotiated settlement must begin somewhere. At least if we begin with reforms, even here, you never know, reforms could lead to a bigger discussion, and the bigger discussion could lead, but there must be commitment to talk. There must be, let me tell you, even a president who is overthrown negotiates, because at the end of it all, even President Museveni, when he overthrew
he's a good negotiator. Don't you see him with wow?
No, first wait. In 1986, let me tell you, even when you overthrow a government, at least you must have a judge who belongs to that government to swear you in. You can't come and then chase away everybody without because first you must first swear in that constitution which you want to overthrow. When you swear and take leadership, then you overthrow it. So that element of appreciating the other things before you take power is very important. So for us, our position is this regime is armed to teeth, but we agree that they don't have any country. We have one country, and we must live side by side. We must negotiate with them, tell them that, ladies and gentlemen, we must work. Can you please leave that chair and we take it? Because for us, we have no problem.
If it's about negotiation,
I would think. It is.
Think about this as I go to.
And I want to tell my brothers. I want to tell my brother here. Our liberty is going to be negotiated, because the captors also are cornered, but they are waiting for somebody who is ready to negotiate. But we must not negotiate in fear.
Mr. Henry, are you finding a reason why you should support Mao? Because that's what he says, and that's the reason why he's
No,
working with the
no. Mine isn't about, when I say negotiated.
Even Mao's deal was negotiated.
No, that is different. We are
Okay.
we're in a bigger picture. We are in a
to-
bigger picture of a revolution. Comrade Mao negotiated his position. That is personal. But we are talking about revolution.
Okay.
How does the NRM get out of power? How do we have a new system? How do we recover the country from the capture? How do we make this UPDF that has been personalized to continue being UPDF, but get away from the arms of a few individuals and become a national army?
Okay,
All
thank you.
those
Thank
things
you very
are
much.
the ones we're talking about.
For those of you who are following us on social media, and says Shamira, thank you for watching. Alan, thank you for watching. I'm seeing this. Some people can have a daughter as a name. And once it mentioned
people are
it,
watching. People are
yeah,
watching.
therefore,
Tata Sara.
their feedback.
There is a mayor.
Such Ivan, thank you for
There is a
watching.
mayor of this place called Tata Namut.
Hey.
You know him?
Is he the one, Zachary?
He calls himself
I think
Tata
that
Namut.
is just his nickname. You know, everyone has a nickname. I'm
Okay.
called the Revolutionary Son.
So,
that's- yeah.
what do you think about what he's saying that you need to come together and negotiate with President Museveni and his people?
for
No,
me-
not President Museveni.
Because he's
I
done
say-
with the
no,
NRM
no, no,
because,
no. I am
Museveni-
saying, don't, my friend, don't.
you shouldn't put words in
yes,
your mouth.
I am saying the freedom of Ugandans, just like ANC. ANC.
So let me ask you,
Mandela,
before
Mandela,
you tell
Mandela
me.
did not negotiate for a position.
Okay.
He negotiated for regime
Before you tell me,
change.
I want to ask you, who are you referring to negotiate with if it's not President Museveni?
No, we are negotiating with the NRM. Let me tell
And
you.
is there any without Museveni?
And let me tell you, the people who want to remain in power, you remove Museveni, because Museveni is not here for more than 10 years. But there are people, there are NRMs
Okay,
who want,
my brother
who
from
want to die in
Katonga,
power.
come in.
For me,
Eh.
when I see my brother who are here trying to create a picture that we Ugandans can sweet talk Museveni out of power, I don't think that doesn't make sense for me. You see, the good thing we are going into elections. You're going to see. Actually, even this time round, it's likely to be more than what we saw in 2021, where people were massacred on the streets of Kampala here. You get. So for me, getting back to these amendments, I want the public to really understand what we are really discussing here. Before I'll respond to his comments that he made. There is also, he talks about this, having 2 parliaments. Yes. For me, I think maybe he's trying to hide in federal, because you see,
He mentioned it even somewhere.
yes, I think he needs to be clear on that. If it's federal, let him come open and say, let's have a federal system back, and we more like in here, everyone remember
Devolution.
Thank you.
No, I think separate parliament and devolution.
Yes.
They are 2 different proposals.
Yes. So he talks about to reduce parliament,
The size.
of parliament,
Yeah,
trim it so that we.
To around
Yes,
350 members.
this one I support it, because personally we are overburdened with the expenditure, the money we spend on all these MPs. Yeah, this is a good idea, but again, my brother
On that
Rugua-
same matter, let me
Yes.
read something.
No,
He
I
said
am-
that he in the same amendment that he wants to
Yes.
propose,
Yes.
he will propose that those who will be willing to give in their constituencies must be compensated by the government. That is an expenditure. That government must compensate those people who will be willing to give.
I think we are waiting, because he said he's going to put this into writing so that we can digest it more. We are waiting because we shall read and get to know, because these are just it's just a sneak peek of what is in his bill. You see, this country is run on patronage. Museveni, even him, my brother here, can be given a constituency tomorrow, and tomorrow you'll not see him on DreamTV arguing. Yes.
and it's coming.
You see, Museveni,
Because Nansan is going to be,
Thank
I
you.
see it somewhere.
even so Wakiso, it is
Wakiso City.
Yes, being the divisions have started. People have started
Yes, but
Demarcating.
getting division. Someone like her. That is
are
my
you
division.
saying that I have never gotten constituency since
Now,
I started.
I wanted, the question is, do you think Museveni, who runs this country on patronage, will allow MPs to be reduced to this size? Those are the things we need to
No,
look at
that
in your
is
bill.
it. That
Yes,
is it.
Yes.
I agree that some of them might not arrive, but it is not. It is not good not to have a plan. My brother, even the man who said that this world is round,
The plan will be futile.
was opposed.
The plan
but
is going to be
he
futile.
said it, and at one time people agreed that
It's going to be
the world
futile,
is round.
and you'll end up being tricked. You see, Museveni is a trickster. I'm going to get to that. Now, yes, having ordinary people also challenge court in terms of presidential election. These elections are about us, his citizens. If for example, yes, the other time Dr. Kizza Besigye was locked in his house when he was supposed to petition, and because they give them 14 days to petition a presidential election.
Candidate.
Yes, he's the one who petitions. Now here, of course, him saying that this will reduce on the arrests. Yes, but the election is about us citizens, so we have a right to, because if someone is contesting, he's not contesting for we vote him. We are the ones that even campaign for these people. So the election is about us. So it's a good idea. It's a good idea that he has brought on paper of involving citizens to also be able to file cases. Yeah, that one is I support it. Also having the presidential.
I think maybe this is the happiest on this one.
Presidential elections being telling them, declaring them at the district level before their transmission. You see, the framers of the 1995 constitutions were wise. They knew that if elections are counted at the polling station, by the time the taken to the National Tally Center, people know the outcome, because there is no better way results will be known at the polling station than at the district level, because here everyone is, if each village will be like, yes, here our president is the one who won, here is the one who won. Now taking them to the district level, it becomes a little bit of course, but still elections have been tampered. Even like you told me that the Tally Center, you find that Namaingo A, you're talking about Namaingo B, something like they confuse and they end up what?
Yeah,
tampering the election results. So for me, I think the best way is...
So in a nutshell...
No, the best way is... For me, but you see, for me, I came here to...
No reforms.
Show Ugandans that unless rule of law in this country is respected, every amendment, every law we shall bring on table, it will not work. Unless... You see, we are talking about elections where police and the military are directly involved. A police officer will come and beat you and ask you, but you see, I was in Soroti. When we were campaigning for Honorable Tan. I was there. But the way we were picked in hotels, by RDCs, by military and police, the way my door was kicked, as if I said, did I steal anyone's property? Why are they kicking my door like this? They came and arrested us. They arrested me with other colleagues. We were taken to Dokoro. Another group was taken to Bukedea. So you see, this is what I'm trying to show my brother.
Yeah,
anyway, getting back to the amendment. No, only this. You see, let Honorable Mpuga in his bill be very, very careful. I don't want us to end up being tricked. You see, this is going to be a bill that is going to table in Parliament.
Yes.
And it's going to be debated. But we need to be very careful. One, something might be smuggled in that bill. You see, there is a rumor. I don't know whether it's a rumor. I saw Honorable Norbert Mao talking about it, but for me, I've taken it as a rumor because it is not something that he has really brought on table to also. So you find that they want MPs to be the one to vote for us a president. Yeah. So you need to be careful. You may find that in the bill, that one, yes, they can smuggle it. By the time you realize, you say, but this was a private member's bill. It's you who brought it here, and it's you who suggested these things.
And let's put it in context.
Yes.
When we say it is a rumor that it might be smuggled,
yes.
Me, I am a supporter of a parliamentary system. What you are saying is called a parliamentary system.
Yes.
Me, I am a very strong supporter of the parliamentary.
So you want MPs to be the ones to vote
because
for the president?
No MPs. Because a parliamentary system, it isn't the MPs that vote for president. It is the people who vote for a majority party. The party that wins most seats in parliament takes it is parliamentary system. And I want to tell you, my brother.
I don't want us to go into that debate.
My brother, no, that is another one.
Yeah.
I heard people say that, you know, we are going to take away, is it liberty of people to vote? We have had liberty to vote for 40 years. What has happened? The presidential system, actually the presidential system puts all power into one person and rigging in one person. If the army is rigging for one person, those things.
Sorry, back to
so for
you
me,
think,
for me at that point.
Let me pose this question to you.
Yes.
You think if even the opposition,
yes,
neighbor of yours here,
yes,
is not agreeing with you,
no, we don't need to agree. We don't need to agree. We have different
You
heads.
hope that NRM, who doesn't need these, who don't even need any of the amendments you're proposing, will give you support. And then secondly, on that, because there's a factor you are forgetting.
Come again, I didn't get
I've
that
said,
one.
If here, where we are, you two opposition members
Don't
are not
agree.
agreeing, then the other person who's
No,
comfortable with the constitution.
Yes. And
then secondly, I don't pause. There is a factor you are forgetting. I don't have time. I have less than 7 minutes.
Okay, we shall use
but I
that.
want to look at it in this way. So, you proposed about prisoners to vote. One of the reasons, one of the things that you people have been mentioning is that in barracks, votes are stolen from there. And there's no they problem because common people can't access them. And then I will think about what will happen in the prison, where even you don't know the census in the prison.
no, I am that part of the prison because it is out of a ruling. There's a ruling that was made. For me, on the part of the prison, I don't. Whereas there are freedoms, for the prison I don't agree.
I'm seeing 7.
But for me, it is about diaspora. It is about diaspora, and if we continue engaging, we shall engage more on the issue of
it comes with a cost.
And to my brother, we don't make proposals such that they go through. We make proposals because we believe in them. They might not go through now, but they remain on record that this is what we believe in. I'm very moved by our team in the opposition that fails to explore qualitatively the debates they go in. You cannot debate with your mouth. You also must use all the faculties. You must explore. For example, I heard the other day, even Dr. Besija was saying, they are going to take away power. I don't agree with him. And when we meet, for me, and I was telling that when we get as opposition, can we also explore and see whether a presidential system has been successful? Because before we took on a presidential system, we had a parliamentary system. That is how the Obotes, the UPC won. And for me, and I'll tell my brother, let me tell you.
They're in different times, my brother.
And I'll
a lot
tell
of
you.
things have changed.
And I want to tell you, definitely we are debating on different levels. And I want to tell you, my brother, the NRM does not want a parliamentary system. It can't. A parliamentary system means that you get power from the president and you take it to parliament. An institution that has killed all institutions cannot take away power from a single person and then give it back to parliament. That can never happen. So it is a propaganda of a few people who don't have ideas. They are propagating something that cannot happen. President Museveni, Tibu Habura and his NRA cannot, and I want to repeat, cannot cede power from a presidency to a parliamentary system.
Okay.
Can never happen.
I wanted to. He was saying that he doesn't agree.
Scientifically, it can't happen.
He doesn't agree with the prisoners to
Yes,
also be able to give a chance to vote. Yes, you see, the same way you are supporting the people in diaspora to vote. These are also Ugandans, like another person. There are a lot of prisoners in Ruzira who are on remand. Now, if an election was, for example, if next week there's an election and you're being remanded for 3 weeks, you miss to vote because you're in prison. No. It can be developed. But actually, prison is the one that is very. Actually, in one day you're counted like 5 times. You get. So for me, it's okay. Prisoners are all citizens of this country, and their fundamental rights shouldn't be abused. You get. They should also be allowed to vote.
I want you to use 1 minute.
Yes, yes.
Because all you see, the amendments and everything.
Yes.
To people who think like you, who say the problem with this country is President Museveni and his government.
Yes.
What is the solution? In a minute.
Yes, the solution is unless we Ugandans get up from our comfort zones and collectively we say enough is enough, and we fight for our freedom. Fighting doesn't mean throwing stones, or it means doing actions.
Pressure.
Yes, actions. You can peaceful protest. And to put pressure so that this, but saying that we are going to negotiate. Yes.
When Mpuga was addressing, he said he doesn't believe in chaotic politics. So those people who think that they will use guns or what, maybe to change it, let them think.
But our call has always been clear as a FDC Katonga. For us, our call is defiance.
Yeah.
Defiance. Yes. Non-compliance. Non-compliance.
What is the because outcome? When you defy, the output is that you put pressure on government. When you put pressure on government, you negotiate with it to exit and you sit in power. My brother.
Do you know what can happen if we wake up tomorrow, all borders are packed and taxis are packed, they're saying they're not going to operate? Do you know what can happen?
Yes. It is. That one is called pressure. Now, in politics, pressure leads to something that leads to regime change. Now, I agree with you that we don't need to be on our knees to demand what we need to do. And this, what we call, even ANC, Nelson Mandela said that I cannot negotiate out of fear. And I cannot negotiate on my feet. That he was saying that, please, whereas I'm a prisoner, when I am going for negotiation for my country, please give me a suit, such that I also look smart, such that we talk about things of the country. After the negotiation, give me my prison dress and I go back.
In a second, as we conclude, as I conclude, I want to tell Ugandans that the amendments that Honorable Mpuga has tabled, that is going to table, I think he's going to seek leave for a week, won't work if we still have this kind of regime prevailing over us. They will never work. The efforts of Honorable
what would
Mpuga
work for Ugandans who want change?
I have told you.
You have to.
Yes, I have told you. What we have to do is
defiance.
Defiance. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Henry, what will work for Ugandans as we leave this place?
No, I think we must have a plan, step by step, and that is how we have been moving with this regime. There are some successes we have scored. Sometimes we move back and forth.
Okay, thank you very much.
For me, mine
Thank
is
you
that.
very much. Thank you very much.
For me, mine is that everybody must do the little he can do within their means. Let members of parliament do what they do. Let the
thank you very much,
also do what
Mr.
they
Henry,
do.
and I want
Let
to
also ask
thank you very much, our viewers who are
can.
watching. Ivan Sacha, thank you for watching. Ivan Sacha, you need to meet these people. Eh?
There are also
Is there that he wants to be a president?
Namagembe Agi, I see Nana, Brian is watching, I see Saul.
Thank you very much, those of you who are watching us.
Yeah.
I've been to Herod. To be with the show. We meet on Monday. Good night.
Thank you. Yeah. It's okay. That's okay. Are we off? Are we off air? Yeah.